very vivid and very disturbing description here of Islamophobia as Muslims in Birmingham. And we have seen the increase in hate crimes since 2010, perhaps the highest level of crimes in 2015. It's on the rise, the problem is getting worse, and is really very, very disturbing in all of its aspects, locally and nationally and globally. Also, and we want to get to the questions, so I'm going to start with the first question, and again, remind everyone to pass your cards if you have a question. But as I'm listening to this, it's very interesting that Birmingham has a reputation as ground zero for the civil rights movement, as we all know. And we know that this is a community that has moved in many ways from revolution to reconciliation, and we're still on that path. We are on a journey. We have not arrived. And what you all have described today is part of that journey. So my question is, what do you believe will help to decrease this anti-Muslim prejudice and these crimes of hate that seem to be born out of fear and ignorance? What is the approach? What will help to make it a better community so that people can live without fear and without hate and without being victims of these heinous crimes? Anyone who is all?
I'll start. I don't have any solution, no answers, wish there were. But in the words of Arundhati Roy, an activist from India, she said, more powerful than the government of the United States are the people of the United States. And the religious leaders, the government officials, must recognize that what they say from their official platforms, especially the one that comes from the pulpits, they have got significant consequences among the weaker populations of our communities. And they react, they are incited by those hate remarks that are made, and that people put them into action. Civil rights, in some way, in Birmingham, I attribute some of the things that we have faced, in positive things that we have faced. One of the examples I'll tell you that after 9/11, I called, we were in Homewood at that time only, called the chief of police to ask him for additional security at our mosque. And usually, chief is very busy, he will return my call 2 or 3 days later sometimes, but that day he returned my call in 1 hour. And the government officials were very, very sensitive, and I attribute that to sensitivity that has been created during the civil rights. More interfaith dialogue, more interfaith communication, more projects to do. April 10, we are going to partner with Birmingham Jewish Federation. Richard is here, and partner with them, knowing that we may have difference of opinion. And sometimes in fall we are partnering with one of the mega churches, right-wing churches, to have a one-on-one relationship. 27% people polled in the United States have got a neutral or a positive view of Islam. And another poll suggests that of that 27%, people who have got positive view are the ones who have seen a Muslim in their lifetime, or know of a Muslim in a lifetime. So one-on-one relationship, it is very hard to reject. It is very hard to consider to be hateful towards somebody. Somebody you have had dinner with, somebody you have had lunch with. So people of the United States, people of Alabama, we, the 27%, have to win the heart of the other 83%, 73%. I don't believe I'm an engineer. Had been the heart of the 73% people. It's changing one heart at a time, lighting one candle at a time.
So people need to talk and dialogue and know one another one-to-one in real time, in real communities across a range of activities. Mark, you want to comment on what
Yeah,
you
I
think would
agree
help?
with very much what Ashfaq said. I would say, number one, call out politicians, call out the pundits, call out the preachers. These are not simply slight differences of opinions or some theory that someone's giving us. They are lies. Right? There isn't a plot to impose Sharia law in the United States. There aren't secret Muslim terrorist training camps. There isn't a Muslim Brotherhood infiltration of the government. So I think that, from my point of view, is essential. Because these people are quote-unquote leaders. They are people who lead their communities. They're supposed to be leading us to a better place. I don't think I surprise anyone in the room when I say an awful lot of our leaders are doing the precise opposite right now. I certainly agree about one-on-one contact. We think about the way the world has changed for LGBT people. And I think that a lot of that was not just activism. A lot of that was people know gay people they've come to know in their workplaces, in their families, right? So you see these people are not really scary child molesters or weird deviants, right? And so it's that kind of contact that makes you see people as human beings. On the other hand, I just want to say that overall, the country is going through a very difficult period, and it's not only related to Islamophobia. This country is going through a massive demographic and cultural, and to some extent financial change. The demographic change is huge, right? In 30 years, whites will lose their majority in this country. So there's a lot of anger and fear and trepidation and so on out there among certain people who feel the world's been kind of cut out from under their feet and so on. Robert Putnam is a sociologist at Harvard who has done a lot of work on what happens in diverse communities, in diverse countries. And sad to say that the finding, which I think is pretty much indisputable, is that as diversity rises in a society, trust goes down between ethnic and religious and racial groups and even among themselves. Trust goes down in society. Now, Putnam isn't saying multiculturalism is a failure. We've got to return to some kind of old, racial nationalism or something like that. Putnam is saying is that when societies become more diverse, which, whether anybody likes it or not, is inevitable, right? With globalization, with the knitting together of the world economically, it's something not something that can be avoided. But in any case, what Putnam is saying is that it is required that all of us work on building bridges in just the way that the two of you do, right, in Birmingham, in a grassroots, person-to-person way, building relationships, interfaith relationships, and so on. I won't go on, but I just think those are